Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. In this video we are going to be talking about the ancient mystery school of Egypt. By definition, a mystery school is formed by a group of initiates who have dedicated themselves to preserving, protecting and perpetuating the mystery teachings. As you already learned in our previous video, Thoth, great Egyptian philosopher, was the founder of the ancient mystery schools. It is believed he wrote over 40 books including the Emerald Tablet, the Book of Thoth and the Divine Pimenter. The Great Pyramid has fascinated people for thousands of years, but the more it is studied, the more questions arise. The standard theory, that it was built as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu around 2360 BC, using only copper tools, wood, rope, and sweat, is still around. But it is less and less able to answer the questions new evidence gives rise to. Clearly, the Great Pyramid is no ordinary structure. It is composed of more than 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks, some weighing as much as 100,000 pounds, and transported to the site from as far away as 500 miles. Its base covers an area of over 13 acres. It is 455 feet tall, over half the height of the Empire State Building, and remains, 5,000 years later, the heaviest structure on Earth. And finally, there is the issue of organization. How could a supposedly primitive society be capable of the organization, planning, and building skills required to sustain such an effort for decades? Caliph al-Ma'mun, who led the first exploration of the Great Pyramid in the 9th century AD, had to tunnel and blast his way into the upper chambers. He and his workers found no soot on the ceilings, as one would expect had torches been used before. He reported that he and his men thoroughly searched all of the chambers and found absolutely nothing other than the stone coffer in the king's chamber, no mummies or riches. Inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, in the king's chamber, lies a granite sarcophagus, the king's sarcophagus. Carved from a single block of stone, no mummy, nor Pharaoh Khufu, who alleged built the pyramid, has ever been found inside it. Truthfully, there is no reason to even call it the king's tomb, but they do. The sarcophagus is made of granite, also known as spirit stone, because granite works with the natural energies and ley lines of the world. It works in a similar way to a capacitor in electrical circuits, in the sense that it allows the Earth's energy to build up and resonate. Quite different from other sarcophagus of ancient time, there are no designs or inscriptions to be found anywhere on the coffer. This is unusual, as king's coffers were very decorated. It is believed this coffer was used for initiation ceremony. Initiates were laid down in the tomb for 3 days, perfect time for the senses to shut down, allowing the connection to the God within. After the 3-day, the initiate would either come back more enlightened, or die in their having failed their test. One can imagine the sense of panic, feeling buried alive, as they were blindfolded, and were not aware of the trial ahead of them. Furthermore, the king's chamber is very plain. Hidden above the king's chamber is an extremely complex roof, involving 6 levels of ceiling, made from the heaviest blocks of stone in the pyramid. Conventional wisdom is that these extra ceilings relieve the immense weight of the stone above the king's chamber. However, the queen's chamber, which bears even more weight, has only a simple peaked ceiling. That makes me wonder, what was the purpose of 6 levels of ceilings in the king's chamber? But I am thankful that the world is fast becoming conscious that underneath the allegories of the ancient books and Egyptian hieroglyphs, there lie hidden secrets that obviously mean more than the stories we were made to believe. A recent theory, described in Christopher Dunn's Giza Power Plant, makes a well-reasoned and well-researched case that the Great Pyramid is the correct size to vibrate in harmony with the Earth's pulse. Just as a shorter piano string vibrates in harmony with the longer string, even if the longer string is octaves lower. The Great Pyramid's placement within the cycle of Ugas suggests that the ancient Egyptians of this time understood the laws of energy. Thus, they might well have harnessed the Earth's seismic power in the profoundly simple and ecologically harmonious manner explained by Christopher Dunn. It is strongly believed that the Great Pyramid affects people's conscious experience while they are inside its various chambers. Perhaps the best known is that of Paul Brunton, mystic and author of several books, including A Search in Secret Egypt. In the 1930s, arranged to spend a night in the king's chamber, during which he had a profound and life-changing out-of-body experience. He recounts that his guide told him profound truths and showed him many undiscovered chambers. Napoleon Bonaparte also visited the Great Pyramid and requested that he be left alone in the king's chamber. His aides reported that he emerged some time later, white and shaken. When asked what had happened, he answered evasively, implying that no one would believe him. Elizabeth Hayek, in her book Initiation, recounts a former life as an initiate in ancient Egypt. She maintains that the Great Pyramid was methodically used to help people break through into higher consciousness. Hayek recounts that the initiate prepared carefully for the experience, and that they needed to have refined their bodies, especially their nervous systems, to handle the much higher frequencies of subtle energy. They especially needed to prepare their minds through mental disciplines of concentration and meditation so that they would not be overwhelmed by the experience. Hayek describes the entire Giza Plateau as a home both for those in training to receive initiation and for those who had received it. Is an absurd and nonsensical idea held by so many scholars that the pyramids were tombs, even though there have never been found any mummies in the pyramids, and the sarcophagus do not resemble the elaborate decoration of the ones used for king's burial. What I truly believe, after many hours upon hours of study, and after listening to Ramtha's teaching in this subject, is that the king's chamber in Cheops pyramid is an Egyptian holy of holies. On the days of the mysteries of initiation, the initiate had to descend into the sarcophagus and lay there for a period of 72 hours. Now, keep in mind, they were probably blindfolded and not aware of the kind of initiation they were entering to. Emerging from it after the third day, the initiate will typify the resurrection of life after the change called death. There were a total of 7 temples used during initiation. The temples of the Nile are laid out like the inner astral spine, or the serpentine kundalini force, rising up the spine, with each temple initiation representing a chakra. In their last step, at Heliopolis they met with priests and priestesses, who would prepare them for their final initiation. The rituals began in Nubia, to the far south. The Egyptians knew enlightenment began at the base of the spine, and like a river, flows up the astral spine to the brain. The temples simulate this journey of enlightenment. First temple, and first chakra, was Kam-Ambo, the temple of the crocodile god Sobek. This was a test of physical courage and survival that required the initiate to jump into a pool of crocodiles. Second temple. Second chakra. Edfa, the temple of Horus. Third temple. Third chakra. Karnak, the temple of Amun-Ra. Fourth temple. Fourth chakra. Dendera, the temple of Hathor. Fifth temple. Fifth chakra. Abydos. Sixth temple. Sixth chakra. Great Pyramid of Giza. Seventh temple. Seventh chakra. Heliopolis, city of the sun.